Let us open our hearts to the realization that we are born as originals, each one a radiant note in the symphony of life. In the mirror of our existence, we find the reflections of a soul that is ever evolving, incomparable, and exquisitely our own. Today, let us cast aside the shackles of comparison, for it is in celebrating our own unfolding that true freedom is found. When we cease to measure our journey by the steps of another, we begin to see the beauty every moment, every challenge, and every triumph that is uniquely ours. In this space, we reclaim the power to define success and happiness on our terms, and with gentle courage, we step into the light of self-love and boundless possibility. Every human being comes into this world carrying the silent music of their own soul. Long before we learn to speak, before we learn to walk, or even form a single conscious thought, we are already woven with a pattern unlike any other. There is a rhythm in our heartbeat that is not duplicated, a dance in our spirit that no other can perform. This is not a matter of ego, nor a call to arrogance. It is simply the truth that each of us is born unique, not meant to be compared like objects on a shelf, but meant to be honored, understood, and celebrated as living works of art. Yet somewhere along the way, we are taught to forget this. We are handed invisible rulers, whispered scripts, expectations that do not belong to us. We are taught to look left, to look right, to measure our steps against those of others who are walking entirely different roads. And in that moment, the still music within us, the one we were born with, begins to quiet. It does not disappear, no, but it waits. It waits patiently for the day we return to it, remember it, reclaim it. You see, there is no one else who can do what you are here to do in quite the way that you will do it. That is not poetic exaggeration. It is the fabric of life. You may find another who sings in the same key, who dreams with the same fire, who walks with similar shoes. But no one else walks with your exact rhythm. No one else sings with your tone. Your essence is an original. And when you begin to see yourself this way, not as someone who must catch up or fit in or be a better than, but as someone who is already whole, already enough, then the world begins to change around you because you are no longer moving to prove your worth, but to express it. Your presence in this life was not a clerical error or a random accident. It was an intention, a whisper from the universe that said, and this world needs one of you, not a replica, not a mimic, not a shadow of someone else. Just you, with your soft scars and loud laugh, with your uncertain hands and sure heart, with your questions, your voice, your silence, your story. And that story doesn't have to be flashy or filled with awards and titles to be worth telling. It just has to be yours, lived fully, lived deeply, lived honestly. The problem with comparison is that it asks you to ignore your truth in favor of someone else's highlights. It tells you, look how far they've gone, without acknowledging that you may have been walking uphill, barefoot, carrying a weight no one else could see. It tricks you into believing that your value is conditional, dependent on applause or approval. But if you're always chasing the light of someone else's success, you might miss the sunrise of your own becoming. There is a certain peace, a kind of sacred stillness that arrives when you stop measuring your worth by external things. When you realize that your soul doesn't need to be validated by the number of likes or the praise of strangers or the pace at which someone else grows. Trees do not rush to bloom and sink. Oceans do not apologize for their tides. The moon waxes and wanes at her own pace and still holds the power to move the seas. And you, my dear, are no less miraculous than these. People will try to define you, to place you in boxes that feel too tight for your spirit. They will hand you blueprints for lives that are not meant for you. Smile anyway. Nod if you must, then return to your truth, your pace, your journey. The worth that was stitched into your bones long before you knew how to doubt. Trust that. Trust yourself. And remember that your uniqueness is not a burden. It is a beacon. You may find yourself in moments of doubt, comparing your quiet season to someone else's harvest as human. But in those moments, gently remind yourself that growth looks different on everyone. Some of the most beautiful transformations happen in silence, underneath, out of sight. Trust the work that is happening in the dark. Trust the becoming that no one else can see. Your path will bloom when it is time, not a second earlier, not a heartbeat late. Your worth is not up for negotiation. It is not determined by your job title, your relationship status, your bank account, or your body shape. It is not defined by how many people follow you or how many believe in you. It is rooted in the simple, stunning fact that you exist, and that alone is enough. That alone makes you deserving of love, joy, rest, grace, and good things. So when the world grows loud and the voices start to rise, when you find yourself scrolling, doubting, shrinking, close your eyes for a moment and return to the truth. You are not a mistake. You are not behind. You are not too much or too little. You are becoming just as you are meant to. And no one else can do it quite like you. Let the world chase its trends, its numbers, its noise. You stay rooted. Stay steady in your own becoming. Listen to that quiet, original song that lives inside you. That's your true compass. That's your power. That is your birthright. Every journey on this life path is as unique as the patterns in a butterfly's wings, each one unfolding in its own time and space, carrying the quiet evidence of victories and struggles, hopes and dreams. When we take a moment to look inward, past the clamor of the outside world, we begin to see that every step we take, no matter how small, is painted with a beauty that no one else can replicate. There is an art to living that lies in the singular narrative of our existence, a narrative that is composed of moments, memories, and the silent whispers of our soul. In this narrative, the beauty is not measured by grand gestures or the loud declarations of success, but in the tender details of our everyday becoming. At times, the journey may seem like a gentle, meandering stream, soft and unobtrusive, carrying us through quiet valleys and hidden glens that no one else ever sees. At other times, it roars like a mighty river full of rapids and torrents that force us to summon hidden depths of courage and resilience. Yet, regardless of the pace or the intensity, each moment is imbued with its own grace, a grace that teaches us to honor the everyday miracles of our lives. The softness in your smile after a long day, the quiet contentment in solitude, the unexpected twist in a conversation that shifts your entire perspective. All these delicate details speak of an inner beauty that is eternal. Every personal journey is marked by moments when the heart felt heavy and the path seemed shrouded in mist. Moments when the road ahead was uncertain and the burdens of the world pressed too hard upon one's shoulders. But it is precisely in these moments that the beauty of the journey is most profound, for they remind us that even in our deepest valleys, there is a light waiting to emerge. It is in the act of moving through these shadows that we discover the strength and grace embedded within us. A reminder that our lives, with all their twists and turns, are a tapestry of learning and growth. The scars that we carry are not signs of brokenness, but emblems of survival, each one a testament to our ability to rise again. Consider the quiet morning spent in solitude, when the world is still and the soft glow of dawn slowly washes over everything in its path. In these moments, the beauty of a personal journey reveals itself in simple acts. Breathing in the crisp, cool air, feeling the first rays of light gently caress your face, and knowing that another day full of promise has begun. There is an immense and profound beauty in recognizing that every new sunrise is an invitation to embrace what is uniquely yours, to honor the inner voice that guides you, even when the winds of change threaten to obscure its gentle call. The beauty of your journey is stitched into every sunrise and every whisper of the wind, reminding you that the path you tread is both rare and rich. In the quiet chaos of life, when expectations and judgments from the world try to shape you into something you are not, it takes a deep well of inner knowing to stand firm in the beauty of your own journey. It is a reminder that your path is not meant to be compared with another's, for its contours and curves are crafted with a purpose that only you can fulfill. Each step, whether forward or backward, is part of a grand symphony that plays the song of who you are meant to become. The beauty of living is found in the recognition that your journey, in all its unpredictability, is a celebration of the myriad ways you discover the strength of your spirit, the elasticity of your dreams, and the resilience of your heart. There is an undeniable poetry in the rhythm of personal growth, a cadence that rises like the swell of ocean tides and then ebbs into a peaceful stillness. In moments of quiet introspection, you may find that the beauty of your journey is as much about the pauses as it is about the progress. Those pauses when the world seems to stand still and your heart speaks in hushed tones allow you to reflect on the intricate details of your story. They provide a space where the beauty of each moment can unfurl, much like a delicate flower that opens slowly to reveal the brilliant colors within. In these pauses, there is nothing to compare, nothing to measure, only the serene and honest truth of your own existence. There are times when you might look around and see others seemingly racing ahead. And in those moments, the temptation to benchmark your progress against theirs may arise. Yet if you pause long enough, you will see that no two blossoms in nature bloom at the same pace. Some flourish quickly under bright sunlight, while others slowly unfurl their petals in the gentle light of dusk. Your journey is one such bloom, unfolding according to a rhythm that is as natural and as untamed as the forces that govern the universe. There is a deep, abiding beauty in realizing that life is not a competition of who blossoms faster, but a celebration of the diverse ways in which every flower contributes to the garden of humanity. The beauty inherent in every personal journey extends to the lessons learned along the way, those bittersweet moments that teach resilience, the setbacks that imbue wisdom, and the tender encounters that nurture the spirit. Life is a mosaic of experiences where joy and sorrow share the same canvas, each adding its own hue to the overall portrait of you. Even the moments when you feel lost, when the weight of uncertainty presses upon you, are part of a masterpiece that is still in progress. Every chapter of your journey, no matter how challenging, enriches the texture of your character and deepens the well of your empathy. That is a beauty that no external standard of success could ever quantify. Every ripple you create on your journey influences the larger tapestry of life, inspiring others to look within and find the unique beauty of their own path. In this way, your experiences, your triumphs, your tribulations all contribute to a collective symphony that reverberates across generations. The beauty in every personal journey is not confined to solitary moments. It echoes in the shared stories of humanity, weaving together a narrative of perseverance, hope, and boundless possibility. The journey itself, with all its unpredictable twists and gentle curves, is a tribute to the creative force that drives us all, a force that is as infinite as the sky and as profound as the depths of the ocean. As you move through life, allow each moment to imprint its beauty upon your heart, to serve as a reminder of the singular story that only you can tell. Embrace the journey with all its imperfections, knowing that every stumble and every graceful step forward is an integral part of the masterpiece that you are continuously creating. In the quiet moments of reflection, listen to the soft murmur of your own truth and feel the warmth of the knowledge that every experience is a brushstroke on the canvas of your soul. Each memory, each lesson, and each moment of joy or pain lends a unique texture to the unfolding story of you, a story that is as rich in depth as it is resplendent in its singular beauty. The beauty of your personal journey is not something that can be captured in a single glance or measured by the fleeting standards of comparison. It is a living, breathing testament to the wonder of existence, a reminder that no matter the pace at which you travel, each step forward is a revelation of the luminous spirit within you. The journey itself is a celebration, a quiet ode to the resilience of the human heart and the astonishing capacity to find beauty in the midst of chaos. Every sunrise, every quiet breath, every tear shed in the silence of the night is an invitation to witness the profound wonder of your own becoming, to see in every moment an opportunity to grow and to shine in your own incomparable. There is a quiet power that begins in the deepest corners of our soul, a gentle force that is nurtured with each act of self-compassion. At times, when life's challenges press upon us with the weight of countless expectations and doubts, it is easy to forget that the first step toward true resilience is to treat ourselves with kindness. Imagine standing before an old weathered mirror and seeing not the scars of yesterday or the reflections of harsh criticism, but the tender, compassionate eyes of someone who has endured storms and still rises with quiet grace. This gentle acknowledgement of our own struggles, without judgment or condemnation, becomes the seed from which our inner strength is cultivated. It is an invitation to abandon the relentless pursuit of perfection and instead to embrace the beautiful reality of our imperfections. When we learn to treat ourselves as we would treat a dear friend, we step into a space of understanding and grace that transforms every hardship. In the quiet moments of solitude, when our thoughts become a faithful companion, we have the chance to speak kindly to ourselves, to recognize the courage it took to survive even the darkest night. There is a deep healing in the act of self-forgiveness, a quiet celebration of the fact that our journey has been uniquely ours with all the missteps and miracles along the way. It is in these moments of introspection that we begin to appreciate the resilience that has carried us this far, that inner light which flickers even in the midst of despair, waiting to burst forth in a radiance that can illuminate the path. In the tangled web of expectations and self-doubt, it is all too common to lose sight of our own worth. We often measure ourselves against the polished images and exaggerated triumphs of others, forgetting that we are all walking through valleys and over peaks that many may never glimpse. Yet, it is in the humble acceptance of our own truths that a powerful transformation occurs. Instead of demanding perfection, we learn that self-compassion means honoring every part of our journey, including the steps that faltered and the moments when we felt less than our best. This mindful acknowledgement becomes a source of fortitude, grounding us in the realization that our vulnerabilities are not weaknesses, but rather the very essence of our authenticity. When you nurture this inner sanctuary with warmth and understanding, you begin to see that each challenge, each setback, is also a lesson wrapped in the soft fabric of your experience. The obstacles you encounter are not barriers, but stepping stones that invite you to explore the infinite capacity of your own heart. With every trial, you are given the opportunity to tap into an inner reservoir of strength that has always been there, silently waiting to be discovered. And in the act of recognizing this strength, you empower yourself to face the world with a resolve that is both courageous and tender. A resolve that whispers, I am enough just as I am, even when the winds of doubt threaten to uproot you. There is a quiet revolution that begins when we choose to honor our own needs, to let the softer parts of our spirit come forward without fear. It is in the space between self-criticism and self-love that true growth is forged. Each time you pause to listen to your inner voice, to allow yourself the grace of a gentle pause or a small moment of rest, you are building a foundation of self-respect that no external force can shake. In those moments of vulnerability, When you allow yourself to feel deeply and without reservation, you unlock a wellspring of courage and determination that carries you forward, even when the road seems steep or unyielding. Every experience, every heartbreak, every stumble along the way contributes to a tapestry of resilience that is unique as it is unbreakable. Your ability to find solace within yourself, despite the noise and chaos of the world around you, is a testament to the inner strength that quietly pulses at the core of who you are. It is this strength that teaches you to rise after each fall, to mend the fragments of your spirit with the tender care of someone who knows that self-compassion is not a luxury but a vital act of survival. It is the whispered promise to yourself that even in moments of profound uncertainty, there is a light that can never be extinguished, a light that burns with the warmth of every act of kindness, every forgiving thought, every small victory won in a battle against self-doubt. To be gentle with yourself means to allow your heart the freedom to heal, to regenerate and bloom in its own time. It means understanding that your worth is not contingent upon the fleeting standards of the outside world, but is rooted in the deep and undeniable truth that you are deserving of love simply because you exist. This truth is the foundation upon which all other strengths are built. When you affirm your own value and grant yourself the compassion you so readily offer to others, you create a space where inner strength is nurtured and sustained. It becomes a quiet energy, a constant reminder that no matter how harsh the winds of life may become, you have within you the power to shelter your spirit and to keep moving forward. Self-compassion is also about embracing the lessons of the past with a spirit of forgiveness and acceptance. It is the gentle art of letting go of grudges against yourself, of releasing the need to dwell on mistakes, and instead focusing on the grace that comes with knowing you are always learning and evolving. Each moment of self-forgiveness is a small act of rebellion against the forces that try to diminish your light. It is a declaration that you are in control of your own narrative, that every scar is a reminder of battles fought and won, and every imperfection is a mark of the beautiful, raw authenticity that is uniquely yours. In loving yourself without condition, you break the chains of self-judgment and create a new paradigm where inner strength is celebrated not just in moments of triumph, but also in the delicate, tender moments of vulnerability. There exists a profound beauty in the realization that self-love is a journey, a path that is paved with both triumphs and quiet struggle. It is in the soft morning light that you meet your own eyes in the mirror and see the reflection of a soul that has weathered countless storms yet continues to shine with an unwavering light. It is in those moments of quiet courage, when you dare to take a step forward, even when your heart trembles with uncertainty, that you affirm your right to be exactly who you are. The inner strength that emerges from this acceptance is gentle yet unyielding, a force that carries you through the darkest nights and lifts you toward brighter days. In every trial you face, there lies an opportunity to affirm this truth. When the weight of expectations bears down upon you, and the world seems intent on measuring you by standards that were never meant for your spirit, remember that the soft, loving voice inside you has been there all along. It is a voice that whispers of forgiveness, of understanding, and of an enduring hope that holds the promise of a new dawn. With each tender act of self-compassion, you build a legacy of inner strength that not only sustains you, but also inspires those around you to seek the light within themselves. In this way, the journey to self-love is both deeply personal and quietly transformative, weaving a story of resilience that echoes far beyond the confines of your own heart. Every moment that you choose to treat yourself with kindness is a step toward reclaiming the inherent worth that has always been a part of you. It is a step that defies the relentless pressures of comparison, a step that honors the unique path you are destined to travel. And in this act of gentle rebellion, you find the courage to stand tall amidst the chaos, to look the world in the eye and say, I am enough. This is the essence of inner strength, a strength born not of force or rigidity, but of the soft, powerful energy that arises from within when you finally allow yourself the grace to simply be. There is something quietly destructive about the act of comparison, something that seeps in slowly and begins to unravel the peace within us thread by thread. It doesn't come in loudly or with great warning. It creeps into the mind when we're tired, when we're uncertain, when the world feels too big and we feel too small. It shows up in moments when we're scrolling through other people's lives, hearing their stories of triumph, looking at the smiles in their photos, and wondering silently why our own joy feels delayed. Comparison, though dressed in curiosity or even harmless observation, begins to shift how we see ourselves, how we hold our own worth, how we measure the goodness of our lives. It plants doubt, soft at first, but growing steadily, questioning our path, our timing, our value. It is a heavy thing to carry the weight of someone else's journey on your own back. And yet that is what comparison does. It asks us to take on roads we were never meant to walk, to shoulder dreams that do not belong to us, to chase milestones that were never part of our own design. When we compare, we abandon our own truth for a shadow. We lose sight of our own beauty because our eyes are locked on a life that was not shaped for us. There's a kind of sadness in that, in forgetting the texture of our own spirit just to fit the outline of someone else's. He takes something sacred and tries to mold it into a copy, stripping away the power of our authenticity. We're told so often to be more, to do more, to keep up. The world spins with a relentless urgency, and we are pushed to believe that our value lies in speed and appearance, in how quickly we can achieve what others already have. But the truth is that comparison is a thief. It steals the joy of your small victories. It mutes the sound of your own voice. It blinds you to the quiet beauty that lives in your slow days, your growing seasons, your trying again moments. When we are caught in the cycle of looking outward to define ourselves, we lose the ability to appreciate the richness of our own inner world. The destructive nature of comparison doesn't just rest in how it makes us feel about others, it lives in what it does to our relationship with ourselves. It tells us that who we are is not quite enough, that our pace is too slow, that our dreams are too small, that our wins are not worth celebrating. It nudges us to judge ourselves by standards that were never ours to begin with. It makes us question the very essence of our being. Not because we lack anything, but because we've stopped looking inward and begun to chase reflections. And what a sorrow it is to run so far after someone else's reflection that we forget the wonder of our own. Yet, when we begin to loosen our grip on comparison, even just a little, something shifts. It's quiet at first, a breath, a pause, a space opening up where once there was only pressure. In that space, we begin to see ourselves differently. We begin to remember that the journey we are on has its own shape, its own rhythm, its own magic. We remember that our timing is not flawed. It's simply personal. The healing comes not in trying to be like someone else, but in learning how to see ourselves with kinder eyes. In understanding that we were not born to be echoes, but original voices. We were not created to follow the light of another, but to discover and tend to the light within us. There is a deep, quiet power in choosing to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to compare, rank, and categorize it. It's not an easy choice. It takes courage to turn your gaze inward, to trust the pace of your own becoming, to silence the noise of expectations and listen instead to your soul. But when you do, when you truly begin to value your own path, you find something more solid than the fleeting highs of being a better than. You find peace. You find clarity. You find the strength that comes from standing firmly in your own truth. And in doing so, you begin to reclaim what comparison tried to take. Your joy becomes fuller because it's no longer measured against someone else's. Your progress becomes sacred because it's yours alone. Your love for yourself deepens, not because you've reached some imagined ideal, but because you've remembered that you were never broken to begin with. You were always enough, always worthy, always becoming, even when it didn't look like progress to the outside world, especially then. Sometimes the most radical act of love is to choose yourself again and again, to choose your voice when others are louder, to choose your timing when others are faster, to choose your truth when it doesn't look like anyone else's. Because in that choice, you send a message to your spirit. You matter, just as you are. No comparison needed. You begin to realize that life is not a race, but a series of seasons. Some seasons bloom with brilliance, others call for rest and reflection. Some are filled with celebration, others with learning, and none of them are wrong. None of them are wasted. Each one is a necessary part of your becoming. The beauty of your life doesn't come from how it compares to someone else's. It comes from how deeply you are willing to live it, how tenderly you are willing to hold it, how truthfully you are willing to walk through it. When we stop comparing, we start living more fully. We begin to see others not as competition, but as fellow travelers, each of us navigating our own terrain, each of us carrying joys and sorrows that can't be measured or matched. We begin to celebrate without envy, to admire without diminishing ourselves, to love without needing to prove anything. That is the kind of freedom comparison can never offer. That is the kind of life that feels whole. So in the quiet hours, when doubt tries to creep in again, when the old voices of comparison come calling, remember this: you are not late, you are not behind, you are not less. You are exactly where you are meant to be, doing the brave work of becoming. And there is not another soul on this earth who can do it quite like you. In a world that moves with such wild abandon and relentless speed, it is easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant race toward an ever elusive finish line, a finish line that seems dictated by forces beyond our control. But there is a tender, enduring truth that sings softly in the corridors of your heart. Your journey is uniquely yours, and its beauty lies not in its haste, but in the gentle unfolding of each carefully chosen moment. When you learn to embrace your own pace, you awaken to a rhythm that is neither rushed nor delayed, but perfectly in tune with the intricate pulse of your inner world. It is a rhythm that invites you to trust that every step you take, whether marked by silence or celebration, is exactly as it should be. The path of personal destiny is not a straight line paved with uniform milestones and predictable checkpoints. Rather, it is a winding journey that meanders through valleys of introspection and climbs peaks of exuberant discovery. A journey that is as much about being present in each heartbeat as it is about reaching what lies on the horizon. In this dance between time and space, you will encounter moments that demand patience and others that beckon the spirit of surrender. It is in the delicate balance between these dualities that you come to recognize the value of moving at your own pace, unburdened by external comparisons or arbitrary deadlines. There is a profound beauty in allowing yourself to bloom when the season is right, to open your petals to the warmth of the sun without feeling pressured to do so prematurely. As you traverse the twists and turns of your destiny, know that there is no universal timetable by which your worth is measured. The unique cadence of your existence is like a whispered secret between you and the cosmos, an intimate dialogue that reminds you that every breath, every fall, every triumph, and every setback contributes to a larger tapestry of being. It is a narrative that cannot be replicated or hurried, a story written by the quiet pen of your soul rather than the hurried strokes of the world around you. In honoring this, you give yourself permission to savor each unfolding chapter, to delight in the moments of stillness as much as in the crescendos of achievement. In the face of external pressures that push for hurried conquests and rapid ascents, it takes courage to affirm that your worth is not contingent upon speed or comparison. It is an act of rebellion against a culture that glorifies constant activity and swift resolution, a declaration that you are more than the sum of your rushed accomplishments. Every meandering thought, every pause in your journey is an essential part of the intricate mosaic that is your life. These pauses are not failures, but rather spaces of fertile ground where new ideas germinate and where the seeds of future triumphs take root. When you give yourself the freedom to move at your own measured pace, you unlock a sanctuary within, a safe haven where creativity, reflection, and growth are unimpeded by the clamoring demands of a world intent on speed. Embracing your own pace is an invitation to engage in a deeper conversation with your inner self, a dialogue that transcends the superficial measures of time and success. It is a chance to reconnect with the inner voice that gently nudges you toward authenticity and fulfillment, a voice that reminds you that your destiny is not a race to be won, but an odyssey to be cherished. In this embrace, you learn that each moment, no matter how seemingly insignificant, carries with it the promise of transformation. With each deliberate step, you craft a path that is rich with meaning and imbued with a quiet wisdom of self-discovery. The road ahead is less a sprint and more a gentle wander through the landscapes of your dreams, where every twist and turn is an opportunity to rediscover the marvel of your existence. There is an exquisite solace in knowing that your destiny is not defined by the pace at which you move, but by the depth of your experience and the courage with which you face each unfolding moment. It is a reminder that the intricate details of your journey, those moments of quiet triumph, and the silent battles fought in the stillness of the night, are what truly shape who you are. The world may seem to march on with blinding speed, but you have the profound right to move in harmony with your own inner clock, to relish the unfolding of life on your own intimate terms. In doing so, you liberate yourself from the confines of a one-size-fits-all timeline, opening up a world of possibility where dreams and desires can flourish unencumbered by the tyranny of comparison. As you journey onward, allow yourself the grace to pause, to breathe deeply and listen to the gentle murmur of your inner being. Recognize that every moment of quiet reflection is a cherished gift that holds the promise of renewal and the spark of new beginnings. In those moments, you come to see that the beauty of your pace is not measured by how quickly you arrive at your destination, but by the tenderness with which you navigate the distance between where you are and where you are destined to be. Each step, no matter how small, is an affirmation of your commitment to living a life that is authentically yours. It is a declaration that your destiny is crafted not in the rush of a hurried life, but in the patient, deliberate unfolding of your inner truth. In the quiet spaces of self-acceptance, you begin to understand that the journey toward realizing your destiny is as important as the destination itself. It is in the slow, deliberate moments of introspection that you find the strength to overcome obstacles and the wisdom to appreciate the beauty of gradual progress. Every whispered hope, every unhurried decision, every moment of gentle persistence adds a layer of richness to your life. When you honor your pace, you empower yourself to shape a destiny that is uniquely yours. A destiny woven from threads of resilience, tender hope, and a steadfast belief in your own inherent value. You come to realize that the most authentic expression of who you are is found not in the fervent rush toward an external goal, but in the quiet, persistent assertion that every moment is an opportunity to honor your own unique journey. The narrative of your life is written in the cadence of your own becoming, a symphony that resonates with the soft echoes of your deepest aspirations. It is a melody composed not of frantic notes, but of a harmonious blend of courage, patience, and self-belief. When you allow yourself to step into this rhythm, you discover that the pace of your journey is a vital part of the landscape of your destiny. The gentle unfolding of your days, each imbued with its own quiet magic, is a testament to the beauty of living true to your own nature. And in that truth, you find the strength to move forward with confidence, knowing that every measured step is a celebration of your unique legacy, a legacy that is written by the steady, unhurried beat of your heart.